Hi everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about some new castings, and yes, these are leaks, not official castings for Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show. So if you're new to the channel, you don't know what we do here, we cover Wheel of Time show news, so anything and everything to do with the production, that's what we talk about. Whether it be official news, leaks, rumors, set pictures, videos, castings, you name it, we cover it here. So if you like that sort of thing, or regular Wheel of Time content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell. And if you like what we're doing here, maybe support us over on Patreon, or at least like the video. That way we get a little bit more reach, because let's face it, the more subscribers I have, the more content I can do for you folks, and I really do enjoy doing this. Now, before we get into the video, I have to give a slight spoiler warning, because we're not just talking about castings and news, but I'm going to do a little bit of speculation about Season 2 as well. So, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the first season of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show, or read at least the first 3 books of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, that's The Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, and The Dragon Reborn, be forewarned, I'm going to speculate on where some of these roles may fit in, which may ruin certain character arcs and plot points from that part of the series. Alright, all of that being said, let's get on to the video. Alright, so before we get into the video, I do want to mention that this information comes courtesy of my friends over at watseries.com. Now, if you don't know who they are, I've left a link to the article down below in the description box. I want you folks to check them out after the video's done, bookmark their page, and check back at least a couple of times a week. They come out with all kinds of really great Wheel of Time news, leaks, castings, exclusives, you name it, they have it, and they haven't been wrong yet. Now, this article came out last Wednesday, so Wheel of Time Wednesday, and I think it sort of got lost in the noise, because not many people in the fandom are really talking about it right now, when in fact they probably should be, because there's some really interesting castings here. There's a lot of speculation going on about who these people could be. Now, why I got lost in the noise was probably because it was released the same day that Amazon Sony released their Season 2 wrap trailer, and then everyone talked about that. I mean, we had Daniel Green do a big video on it, and sort of caused a little bit of controversy on Twitter, amongst other places. We've had a couple of the other content creators, including Lauren from Unraveling the Pattern, do a video on it. I did one myself, of course, but no one really talked about these castings, and I had a video planned for this. However, when the Season 2 wrap trailer came out, I sort of did that, and then got busy the last couple days, so I'm doing one now, and I do want to thank my friends over at watseries.com for everything they do and getting out this news to us, because let's face it, right now, the unofficial news and the leaks, they're going to far outweigh anything official we get from Sony and Amazon. Alright, so today we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We're going to talk about a couple of speculated roles. Now, these are people that watseries.com believe to be cast in the show because of a ton of circumstantial evidence. There's 2 of them, and then 2 actual castings. Now, I do want to take a moment to just let you folks know, take this with a small grain of salt, because it is not officially from Amazon. It is a leak, and until we hear something from Amazon, it's not 100% official, although watseries.com's track record has been almost 100% for everything they've done, so I would trust the news. That's just me. All right, let's get into these castings. All right, so we're going to talk about some speculated castings here first. Now, this gentleman here is Adrian Bouchet. He is an actor that's been acting since 1998. He was born in Zimbabwe, and he graduated from the Birmingham Theatre School. Now, he's been in a ton of different stuff. He's done stage work, he's done TV shows, he's done movies, but you probably recognize him from one of his bigger roles, and that role would have been a reoccurring role in The Last Kingdom for about 3 seasons. Now, he's an absolutely physically imposing man. He's 6'4". He's very muscular. He's very physical. He's an expert in horseback riding, stage and theater fighting, and he's just imposing on the screen. So if you watched anything that he's done, including The Last Kingdom, he's a treat to see on the screen, and he plays this sort of character, the physical warrior type, very, very well. Now, when I said speculated, watseries.com didn't have any real proof. So they didn't have a CV, they didn't have a contract or anything that stated he's part of the show. However, Adrian was spotted in Prague and in Morocco during the dates that Sony and Amazon were filming there for the Wheel of Time, and he's also been stated that he is working and going to join the 2nd season of a super secret project that's pretty popular. So, my guess is Wheel of Time. That's where watseries.com got that from, that he's probably in the Wheel of Time. And something else interesting to note, he's friends with a lot of the cast on social media, but he's also friends with a few of them in real life. So he actually does hang out with a couple of the cast members. So there's a small chance he was just in Prague and Morocco visiting some people, having some fun, whatever. But I would say the likelihood of him being in the show is pretty high. I would give this about 95 or more percent without seeing something official from Amazon. He's probably in the show, at least in my opinion anyway. Now that leads us to speculate what role he's going to play, because we don't know that yet. Now, I've seen a few people talk about it on Reddit, a few people talk about it on Twitter, and they've bantered around a bunch of different roles, but I haven't seen anyone, and I do apologize if you mentioned this and on social media and I missed it, but I haven't seen anyone mention the character that I was sure he was playing as soon as I saw the actor. Now, Sony and Amazon have been really good about casting family members that look a lot alike. So when Egwene was cast and her parents were cast, I would immediately go, I can 100% see that she is, their family. And if you take a look at Adrian's first picture here, who do you see? Well, I see a very young Stuart Graham. Now, we know that Stuart Graham is playing Geoffrey Bornhold. We've seen him in the first season in a couple of different scenes, and we know that he's going to be in season 2 of The Wheel of Time. And we know that his son, Dain Bornhold, factors in pretty heavily in the later books. So we know that he's going to show up in The Great Hunt, a little bit in The Dragon Reborn, and definitely in The Shadow Rising. There's a major plot line there that I won't get into because I didn't get into spoiler warnings for that. But my guess is, if I had to bet money, I would say that Adrian's going to be playing Dain Bornhold, and that he would do a really, really good job playing that particular character because of the type of roles he's played in the past, because of his physicality, and because of the fact that he's really, really good at playing that sort of warrior role that is, kind of spiraling just a little bit. So let me know in the comments down below, who do you think Adrian's going to play in the second season of The Wheel of Time? And you think he's actually in the show? Like I said, I give it about a 95% or more, considering all of the circumstantial evidence surrounding it. All right, so the next speculation we're going to go with here is Maha Simonsen. She's an actress that's been acting since 2018, and you may recognize her from a couple of different shows. She was in Treadstone, 2 episodes of Treadstone, which is a really great show on Amazon. And she was also in an episode of Emily in Paris, another really great show that I love watching with my wife, and it's over on Netflix. She's also sort of a very small role in The Kingsman, which is a movie that just came out not too long ago, sort of the prequel to the first 2 Kingsman movies. And she played Pretty Girl. That was what she's credited as, so a smaller role there. Now, the thing is with Maha is WhatSeries.com sort of monitors all of the social media, and they're really, really very good at it. And they noticed that Maha started making connections with a lot of different cast members in the tail end of filming. So you're talking the last few weeks of filming in Morocco. She started friending and being added as friends by a lot of the other cast members, and that leads to speculation that she's done probably some scenes or has seen them on set or hung out with them off set. But other than that, there's not really much concrete information to go on. But I have noticed that a lot of the cast members, especially now considering people like WhatSeries.com, myself, a few other people that really dig into social media and try to find any little nugget we can, they're very careful about the social media. They don't just add people willy-nilly for fun anymore. Pretty guarded with what they post, their pictures and things like that, because we pick up any little mistakes. But when we've seen this, and WhatSeries.com seen that, there was sort of a network of people being added together here with her at the center of it, the little alarm bells started going off. So she may be playing a role in the second season, not entirely sure which role, and I've talked to a few different people about it, and I've been given suggestions, everything from very minor characters, like a featured extra, or just an extra in the background, or perhaps somebody with one line, or maybe they're in the foreground, up to and including a major role. So if I had to guess, and I had to put money on this, I would say that she's probably going to be playing Adame. We're probably going to see her in some of the scenes with Madeline Madden. Egwene, we're probably going to see her with the other Seanchan, maybe with Jessica Boone, who we are sort of kind of speculating that she's playing one of the blood, but we're not entirely 100% sure. But I think for sure, if I had to put money on it, I'd say Maha's probably in the show. I just couldn't give you a fair enough example of what I think she's going to be playing. So I want to hear your thoughts on this down below. Who do you think that she could play in the second season? Now remember, she's not going to be probably in anything except the last few weeks of filming, maybe the last month of filming or so. So you're talking about Morocco type scenes, perhaps something in Falme or other areas that they filmed there. I really have no idea, but let me know what you think she could play in the second season. All right, so now we're going to talk about castings for season 2. Now, the first one is Elena Fokina. She is an actress, a dancer, and a choreographer, and she's been acting since about 2005. And you're probably going to find her, one of the biggest things you'll find her in is a horror movie that's right on Amazon Prime right now. It was filmed in 2018 called Suspiria. Now, she plays Olga in that movie, and she uses her, her dancing ability to great effect in the movie, according to the WhatSeries.com article. And she has been cast as a Sul'dam for season 2. Now, we do know that we're going to see a number of different Sul'dam for the season, 100%, because we know the Seanchan are going to factor heavily in the plot lines for season 2. And in fact, we're probably going to see them much earlier than we expect because the scenes she filmed were with the director for episodes 5 and 6. So we're definitely not just going to see them as the big climactic end of the season. They're probably going to be built up throughout the season, and we get to see her probably mid-season, which would be pretty cool. Now, I couldn't tell you which Sul'dam she's going to play or even garner a guess at it, but I want to hear your folks' thoughts. She is, now, we got to understand, she's a dancer and a choreographer, so she is fairly flexible, so it's just possible she could be involved in a battle scene, or perhaps something to that effect where she can use her abilities to showcase some really cool practical effects on the screen. We've seen that a couple of times already in the show for people who are great martial artists or people who have dancing ability or singing ability. And Amazon is always really very good, and the casting people are always really very good to cast people in certain roles so their skills will really shine through on screen. So with that in mind, perhaps she'll be one of the Sul'dam there when Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine come out of the Waygate. To Falme, quite possible. Maybe there's a little bit of a battle. Maybe we get to see Nynaeve showcase a little bit of her skills to get away there. I have no idea, but I would really like to see something like that. I think it'd be very cool. So let me know in the comments down below what you folks think and who you think she'll play, which Sul'dam. All right, so the last confirmed casting we're going to talk about today is Daniel Francis. He's a classically trained actor that trained at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts and then went on to work with John Lithgow at the Royal Shakespeare Company. He has a ton of television, streaming, and stage experience. He's been acting since 2012 and has just done a complete variety of different roles. Now, the WhatSeries.com article mentioned that he's going to be in an upcoming Apple Plus show called Liaison, and they finished filming in November of last year, and so he didn't join the cast until sometime after then, but they really don't know when. Now, he's going to be playing the character High Lord Turak, who we know as one of the Seanchan in Falme at the end of The Great Hunt. Now, I won't ruin exactly what happens there because I know I gave a spoiler warning, but I didn't say I'll give away major plot points or huge spoilers for it. But what I will tell you is that he's not in the book for very long. He's only there for a brief period of time, and he doesn't show up again after The Great Hunt. So my guess is that he's probably only going to be in the show for a couple of different episodes. A very important role, a very important character building moment for Yosha Stradowski's brand when they do meet together in the books. I don't know if they're going to keep that 100% because we're not sure exactly how Falme is going to play out. We already know it's going to be a little bit different than the book series for sure because the Aiel are there, and it kind of sort of seems like they're meshing together the Stone and Falme all at once, so the end of book 3 as well as the end of book 2. But we really don't know. We don't have enough information to go on exactly how that's going to play out. However, if they keep that storyline intact, should be pretty electric to see him and Yosha Stradowski on screen at the same time because it's a really interesting scene in the books. In fact, it's one of the first times you see Randall Thor actually come into his own and trust in his own abilities, which is really very neat. I really liked reading that particular scene, and I hope they kind of keep it mostly intact. So let me know what you folks think in the comments down below. What do you think of Daniel here as High Lord Turak? And how do you think it's going to fit into the actual show? Do you think they'll build up the Seanchan right from the first episode? Or do you think they'll kind of show up as the mid-season, bad guys and then kind of go through the end of the season? Do you think we'll see them all the way through? I kind of think we probably won't see them too much until episode 5, and then after that we'll see about half the plot lines dedicated to them and what they're doing in Falme and around those areas. But again, I really don't know. I have no idea exactly what's going to go on because I do know there's going to be some major changes to the second season, just like there was to the first one. So let me know in the comments down below what your theories are for that. So before we go here, I just want to thank you all very much for sticking with me here to the very end, and here's to many more.